Hi, this is Jay Lee with IdeateTV. I'm here with Miss Stacy, the founder of ConTessa Foundation. Miss Stacy, please tell me what got you started with this foundation and what motivate you to start this.
Well, I have been playing and running role-playing games for a really long time now, 30 years, give or take, and I've loved it, every minute of it. And I always go to conventions and I look around and I see in the GM's chair mostly white males, and that's a lot of what you see. And I thought, what is there something that I can do to give marginalized people of all sorts? I started with women mostly, but the ability to come in and do these kind of things. What if we did our own kind of convention within a convention kind of thing where everything is led by marginalized people entirely, and we could run games and LARPs and panels and do all this kind of stuff. And it was just this pipe dream at first. It was this little tiny document that I made just before Thanksgiving one year, and I was like, yeah, wouldn't this be a great, it was actually called LadyCon first, which
LadyCon, yes.
which is a terrible name. But then somebody else I was like, I have to come up with a better name. With somebody else was like, what about ConTessa? And then you capitalize the C and the T, and then it's got this ConTessa thing. I was like, oh yeah, let's go for that. So that's where we are now. And that was like 7 years ago. Wow. So I mean, yeah.
It's been growing since then.
Yeah, and we went to Gen Con for 4 years in a row, progressively getting bigger and bigger until we had an entire space to ourselves the entire weekend. But that became too expensive, and we have a really small staff, and so we were kind of like, well, what if we took all of the money that we otherwise put into Gen Con and we went to these smaller conventions that are all over the place, and we started doing the same things there, and we could actually give more of the money to the players and to the gamers and to the GMs, and put more money into these small growing conventions too, and so we decided to stop going to Gen Con, and now we're spreading out into a bunch of other smaller conventions. Like last year we spent most of the year just kind of looking over what kind of conventions we wanted to go to, and this year we're actually going to those conventions, with Strategicon Orccon being the first one.
Amazing, I love it. And for your team, is it mostly females or?
Oh, we have a pretty broad group of people. I'm gender fluid, for example. I go back and forth. Our staff has this range of people from queer people to trans people to different races. We try to be as intersectional as possible to bring as many people closer together.
Amazing, I love that. So when you go to conventions like this, you just start, how do you encourage people? And
we start recruiting probably a couple months before the convention, and we do it on social media, we do it through word of mouth, we do it through the individual conventions themselves, and we just tell people, you can run whatever you want. You can run whatever game you want. If you have something that you want to push that you're working on, you can run that. If you have something that just happened, like I run Forbidden Lands a lot, it just happens to be one of my favorite games. So it's just why I run it. People run board games, people run LARPs, people come in, they'll do panels, and it's just whatever interests them and motivates them, and that they find passionate about RPGs. A lot because marginalized people tend to only get invited to panels and games and stuff like that to talk about their marginalization, not to talk about game design or to talk about why you like this game or all those kind of things. So I wanted to create something where they felt free to talk about their passions, talk about why they like gaming, why they like to do these kind of things. So we have these really interesting panels and these interesting games that come up as a resort.
I love
It's really fun.
I love that. I love what you're doing. I love what you represent. Since you started the ConTessa Foundation, do you notice a difference in the diversity coming through?
Oh yeah. We won some Ennies. We won an Ennie one year. Which was nice. Which was really fun, and that gave us a lot of exposure. We've had a number of people. My idea is that I don't see enough marginalized people leading, so in the GM chair, but I am also have like another secret kind of motive in there, in that I know that when people get into the GM chair, it's just a gateway to designing games, because pretty soon they start GMing, and within a very short period of time, they're actually going, oh well, I didn't really like this rule, so I'm going to change this rule. And as soon as you make a house rule, you become a game designer, and then people get addicted to it. So my whole like secret goal was, okay, if we can get more GMs in these chairs who are marginalized people, those people are going to go on and they're going to create games, and they're going to create adventures, and they're going to get into the industry, and the industry is going to become more. And it's actually been working over those like 7 or 8 years. Yeah, we have like a number of people who have started their own Kickstarters, who have just played like a homebrew game here, which is something they put together at one of our events, and then 2-3 months down the road, you hear about them. They're publishing this adventure or this game that they're doing. So it's really, and there's a lot of people who have come to me, and they come to me and talk to me, and they're like, I was kind of scared to run at conventions, or I was scared to GM for the first time, but because I got to do it around like the warmth and comfort of a ConTessa space, it really let me kind of get into it. Now I'm really into it, and now I want to do everything. Yeah.
So beautiful. I love it. And do you yourself, have you created any games or any projects that you have coming up for you?
I've done a couple of things. They're really like off the back burner now. I'm working personally. I haven't quite decided where I want to settle on what I'm personally designing right now. I'm working on one project that I can't even talk about. It's secret. But not really terribly. I spend most of my time working on ConTessa because we're a nonprofit, so. We don't have any money. So like 9 times out of 10, I'm freaking out about whether or not we have money. So I do that mostly. But there's a little bit of design in me. It's just not out yet.
And one more really, really fun question. If you could be any game character from a game or movie or video game, who would you play?
Oh, I would definitely be the Doctor from Doctor Who.
Okay, yes.
No question about that.
Awesome. Okay. And where can people find you, or how can they participate in ConTessa Foundation?
Go online to contessa.rocks, and yes, that's a full web URL. Just head there, and you'll see all of our information, ways to sign up for our newsletters, and ways to get involved.
Okay, excellent. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm Jaylee. This is Sandy from ConTessa Foundation here with IdeateTV.